Okay, before we get into today's video, quick reminder that every single plan, both the monthly and the annual plan for Bear, are currently half price. Use the code FOUNDER right here to get half price on both the monthly and the annual plan. Okay, let's get into today's video. Today we're going to discuss 10 creative poses that you can do for your next photo shoot. Now, we are here in Mallorca, Spain, shooting with Luciana today, and we're actually here, but we're also at her house, and we're also at the beach. We're at a few different locations for this video over the span of 2 days, but I wanted to share with you 10 creative poses that you can implement and try out for your next portrait session. Now, the important thing to remember about posing is that don't just take it as gospel and stay very strict with what I tell you to do with the posing. You want to be able to be fluid and build on top of the poses in your own creative way. So consider all 10 of these poses as kind of a good starting point to start with the pose, and then take your own creative flair on not only the pose itself, but how you approach the pose as a photographer with your lens choice, composition, angle, all of those things to make the pose and ultimately the photograph your own. But these 10 poses, some of them are more beginner, some of them are more advanced, and some of them are kind of in between, but they are all really fun to try out. Alright, let's go shoot. Okay, so the first pose is one that I go to all the time, especially when I have a door frame, and it is very simple. All you're going to do is have your model bend their knee, whichever knee is comfortable for them, and then have their opposite arm, so if they bend their right knee, have their left arm go up on the door frame, kind of like this, exactly like that. In this case, we've got Luciana in this beautiful door frame here. She's going to bend her knee and bring that other arm up to the door frame, and it creates a beautiful S-curve, beautiful shape for the body, especially when you frame it around the door, and it looks like this. Okay, the second pose is one of my favorite poses to do when the model is sitting down on the floor, or in this case on a mattress in a bed, and it goes like this. Okay, so we're gonna have Shanna bend one of her knees just like that. In this case, her left knee is the one that's bent right there. Her other knee is also bent, but it is flat to the floor. One is bent up with a flat foot, the other is bent and the whole leg is flat to the floor. And then on the bent knee, you're gonna bring your model's elbow onto that knee and have her hold either her cheek or her neck just like that, and the other hand can just fall naturally down just like that, and the picture looks like this. Luciana's getting her hair ready. We're going for a straight look today. Yesterday we had
the ponytail.
Oh yes. Yesterday we had really nice curls. It was so beautiful. But today, change it up, you know?
Very romantic.
We're gonna shoot in this beautiful bathroom right here. You guys probably saw these pictures in this window frame already. It's gonna be used again today because it's so nice, and why not use it while we have it?
And Luciana wants a picture on the window.
Exactly. Luciana wants her own version of the picture. Okay, the third pose is another sitting pose, and this one is going to be where the model has both of her knees bent in a very similar direction. I'm looking at Luciana to actually see if I'm talking about it correctly. Both the knees bent in the same direction, either left or right, doesn't really matter. And then her hands are going to be crossed in front of her, holding her knees in front of her as well. And by doing that, she will have a natural bend over effect towards her knees with her shoulders, which will again, shot from a lower angle, will create a really cool, interesting pose. Let's look at this. So Luciana is down here. She's got both her knees bent in the same direction, both of them to her left, just like that. 1, 2. And then her arms are crossed over like that, and we're going to shoot her from this angle, from a bit of a lower angle like this. And this is what that looks like. Pose number 4, what do you know, another sitting pose. This time it works really well on a single couch or single chair. Usually one that's more comfortable is getting better for this pose, but it looks like this. Okay, so we're gonna have our model, Luciana. She's gonna be sitting kind of sideways on the chair, not normally, more sideways or on a diagonal like she is here. She's gonna have her back knee, in this case her right knee, bent, just like that. Her other leg is gonna be straight out, and then the same side of the bent knee, her arm is going to be behind her head like that, and the other arm just kind of lives on the armrest like that. And this pose is absolutely beautiful like this. Let me show you this. Alright, pose number 5 is a great one specifically for swimwear, especially when you're outdoors, and it is basically having your model stand and curve her body. It's a medium frame from the waist up, but she's going to curve her spine and her body, and at the same time, she's going to take off a top, take off a shirt over top of her head. Her face will be showing, but the illusion of her being mid-action is kind of what you're going for with this shot. So in this example, we've got Luciana standing right here, and she's going to pretend to take off the shirt just like that. Exactly. You want to shoot more than less here because sometimes it doesn't look perfect. Other times it looks like she is wearing a big wig or a big towel, but if you get it just right, it'll look super cool. Alright, pose number 6 is one of my favorites that I do all the time, and it is when you have your model standing against a wall with her back against the wall, and then having her arch her back. So you want to have her step out about a couple feet from the wall, and then arch her back to be against the wall, and then you're going to shoot down the wall and have your model look towards you. Very much like this. So we're going to have your model stand against the wall like this. Again, feet 2-ish feet from the wall, back is arched to create this beautiful S curve, and then her face is turned towards me, and I'm going to shoot down the wall like this. Alright, pose number 7 works really well if you have like a clothing line or a clothing rack or some sort of like bar that the model can hang their hands off of, and you're gonna have them stand just normal but have their hands over their head drooped over that thing. In this case, we have a clothing line. I'll show you. So we're gonna have Luciana stand just as she is, but she's gonna drape her hands over and be really exaggerating with the pose. Exactly. And she'll keep moving around. We'll get fun poses like that. Exactly. Just like that. And creates another intentional thing for the model to interact with during the photo shoot. Nice. Great. Alright, now we're at the beach, and pose number 8 is a rather simple one. You're going to have your model stand in a static position facing the camera. You're going to have her legs in a semi-wide stance, just wider than shoulder width apart, I would say. You're going to have her sway to one side, either her left or right side, and then bring her arms overhead, and her arms will be pointing in the same direction as the hip that she's leaning onto. So if she's leaning onto her left hip, then her arms will also go over to her left. And this is what that looks like way over here. So in this case, leaning onto her left hip, just like that. Really nice wide stance between her legs. And again, her arms overhead are going in the same direction as the hip that she's leaning onto, just like this. Okay, pose number 9 is not really a specific pose, but it's more so the idea to have your model take up space. Now, in some scenarios, it is easier than others, but out here on the cliffs, it's really easy, and we have Luciana taking up as much space as possible. And when you pair that with, let's say, a lens that is a bit wider angle, like we're shooting around the 28 to 35 millimeter focal length, it creates really dramatic lines and really dramatic shapes, especially paired with a backdrop like these cliff rocks right here. The idea here is to be more dramatic and expressive over just a more simple pose, which is not a bad thing, but to mix it up, it looks really cool to take up more space. So we have Luciana here, and she's doing all these weird shapes, taking up all this space on the rock. In real life, this makes no sense and looks really strange, but on the rocks here, this looks so fun. Wow. Beautiful. final pose is another sitting pose, and this time you're going to have your model, sorry for the noise, my god. This time you're going to have your model sitting down, having both knees kept together and bent onto one side, and then onto the other side have the model have both arms pressed down onto the floor in front of her. And I like to shoot this one around the 35 to 40 millimeter focal length, and from just below the chin height to, again, not elongate anything unnecessarily, so that the pose looks really nice and balanced. So it'll look like this. So we're going to actually get Luciana to put your other foot in more with that one exactly. And these two hands are kept a little bit closer to the body. Not that close. There we go, exactly, perfect, like that. And then I'm going to shoot her from kind of down here, exactly, like that. And those are 10 creative poses for you to try out for your next portrait session. Before you click off this video, make sure you give Luciana a follow on Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below and the like button, and leave a comment on what you want to see more of on this channel. But until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.